Hello, welcome to Simcha, a celebration of life. I'm your host, Nikki Wallman. Born in Central Africa in the mid-60s as an Orthodox Jew, author and multiple sclerosis sufferer Lauren Singer speaks to us today about her struggles with her faith and disease, and how being diagnosed at the early age of 27 was not the end of her life, but in fact, only the beginning.
I was very observant of the Shabbat, of kashrut, of being kosher. When I did get MS, well, when I was young, I started being from when I was about 14. And so the question is, does God not like me? I tried to do everything to the best of my ability, and I couldn't be protected from this? That's a bit simplistic, because I've had to think a little bit further. Think, okay, I do have this illness. What, is there any reason behind it? Quite honestly, I can't see any good reason, but I can see more of a spiritual reason, because there's the physical me that can't get about very much and remains very dependent. But there is a concept of tikkun, or repair. When I first heard about this, and heard that maybe my soul needed to be repaired, maybe it had been, I believe that sort of souls have been around for longer than just our lives. Maybe the person who had my soul beforehand had a wonderful life as a skier or an ice skater. Lovely life. But you know, maybe something had to be done more. Perhaps that person, or those people, tried to do their best. They had lived a good life, but you know, there's something about having something that has to be perfected. Maybe my job was just to add a facet into the life of my soul. I'm not saying that my soul is now perfect, because I've had to live through this, but maybe there was something that I had to do that was going to just make my inner, most important self just that bit more perfect. So, what is multiple sclerosis? It's an illness of the nervous system, of the central nervous system, that's the brain and spinal cord. If you think of the spinal cord and the brain as a whole lot of electrical wires, there is the grey matter and there's the white matter. The grey matter is sort of, if you remember, Poirot, the little grey cells, that's the intelligence, the cell body. And then there's the white matter, which is covering all of the cells and helping the cells by being a good insulation that allows the cells to let the electric currents go through the cells. So when you think, you don't think about it. When you want to raise your hand, you raise your hand like that. You don't think about it, you just do it. But with multiple sclerosis, it's a type of immune, it's as if I'm attacking myself. For whatever reasons, we don't know exactly why, people now know far more, but my immune system eats away at the myelin sheath, that nice fatty material surrounding the central nervous system of my brain and spinal cord in different places, chomps away, and a plaque or hardened material is put down instead. You know, the interesting thing is, I know I have multiple sclerosis, but because I've got MS, so do my parents have it. Not in the same way, but so do my friends. Everybody that knows me is affected by the fact that I can't easily walk. I can't walk anymore. And that's not even the beginning of things. Having multiple sclerosis doesn't mean that I'm sort of torn away from everyday life. I can't do the things like walking and normal things. I'm not as independent as I have been. I remember with absolute joy having a Shabbat meal in Israel, where I used to prepare things and I could still walk around, Machane Yehuda and get all the vegetables. And I loved cooking. My hands don't work so well anymore, so I drop things. I find even cutting things up to try and make things, I find it very difficult. It makes me very, very sad, more than angry. I think the overriding feeling that I have is not that of anger, because what, am I going to be angry with God? What good would that do me? Or what good would that do me at all? But there's an overriding feeling of sadness. I have tried to do my best. I've done different things in my life that hopefully people will benefit from. I've written a couple of books. Hopefully people, in fact, I recently got a letter from the daughter of a woman. She had MS, and she was so affected by my writing, she has just since passed away. But apparently my book had really helped her, and she had highlighted bits, and she felt that I had helped her, and that to me is more than I could ever wish for. To be able to be of assistance, and to be able to know that my life has meaning beyond just waking up in the morning and doing what I do. I get onto the computer or whatever, but my life has to have meaning. And I have found that through my writing and the way that I can try and express myself and my life living with MS, hopefully I'm meant to be able to help people. That's all I really want to do. I'm very grateful for everything that I have, and I think gratitude is the most important thing to cultivate and to have, which I do. But at the same time, there's an incredible amount of loss. And MS, for me, is an illness of loss. What I'd like to say to people who do have MS is that don't be swallowed by it. Because actually, you are far more than your illness. And your illness, far more. I look at myself and I think, I am very irritated that I can't do things. I feel very upset I can't do things. But actually, I'm also just remember that you are the person you were, and are the person you were before you knew that you had MS. MS is not the end of your life. It's only the beginning of what you can do. Things may not be easy. Nobody is saying that it is. But my word is there are a lot that you can still do. So, yes, I do have spirituality, but it's in the quietude. It's in the quiet time, and it's something that is part of me. But it's not to be, I can't shout about it, but it's what keeps me going, because I think that's the essence.
We hope you enjoyed that tale of tremendous courage. And on that note, we leave you with an inspirational thought for the week. As always, from me, Nikki, and the entire team, shalom and have a safe and peaceful week.
How wonderful it would be if one could only be worthy of hearing the song of the grass. Each blade of grass sings out to God without any ulterior motive and without expecting any reward. It is most wonderful to hear its song and worship God in its midst. The best place to meditate is in a field where things grow. There one can truly express his thoughts before God. The best place to meditate is in the meadows outside the city. One should meditate in a grassy field, for grass will awaken the heart.